Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another live stream. Will, you're back. Thank you.
I'm back. I can't believe it. It's the second appearance in a row, bro. It's some kind of record.
I know. We were going to do it like fortnightly, I think, and then we were going to do it monthly, but people really liked it last week, and I really liked it. I think you really liked it.
Hey, it sounds like everybody really liked it. That's a win-win-win right there. So, yeah.
It's triple win.
It's triple dubs. Yeah.
So we're back. Like how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, Justin. Thank you for having me again. Like I told you before the show, I somehow broke my Chrome Mando. Not really broke. Broke is maybe an exaggeration, right? I accidentally snapped the peg on the rifle to get in there, and Sideshow luckily took care of me because they're great with their customer service. And, I think I might have scratched the chrome paint on accident. I don't know what happened. Either way, happy to... Dude, the figure is amazing. That Chrome Mando is so good. And now, like I told you, I'm trying to find a Chrome Mando helmet to put on my Durasteel Mando because I feel like the Durasteel Mando is so good. Besides that one... now that you've had the chrome, the taste of the chrome, you can't go back, bro.
You can't go back. You can't. I need to watch it. Will's got a review for Chrome Mando out, by the way. I'm going to watch it after this. I saw it pop up, but then it's early here. Well, it's not that early. It's 11, I guess. So I got up, getting ready for the stream, saw the video. I was like, damn, I really want to watch this. But
it's only 5 minutes, too. So
shorty. So...
it's a shorty. That's what they call it.
Go check
That's
it
all
out.
the time you need.
Exactly. For review.
Yeah, for everything.
For everything. Oh, well, thank you everyone for joining. We've already got almost 100 people here. I'm going to go through the chat very quickly. Natalie Harris is here. Mark Attack, hello. Robot Bat Bunny, love that name, hello. Tully. Sean Breeze Collectibles, hello. Yimi, Linda, channel member, thank you so much for being here, Linda. MMPR 335, also channel member, thank you so much. Hello. Shiny says 2 legends. I don't know about that, but
that's a little bit of an exaggeration.
We'll take it, but we don't have to agree with it. But we'll take it. Jose is here. Hello. What's up, everyone? Hi, Justin. Hello there. And Bob Dylan is here. Hello, Bob Dylan. Thank you for joining us. As always, there are a bunch more people. We'll get to the chat. So basically, the format is the same as last week. We're going to do news right off the top. We're going to do 20 minutes of news. Hopefully, we'll stick to time. There's a lot of stuff to discuss, but I think we can do it. We got 2 headline Daily Bugle headline main topics, and I'm really excited about these 2. You can see them on the thumbnail if you want to get a little sneak preview, but maybe a little bit divisive. We'll see. And then at the end, Q&A, and that's where we'll be doing all the super chats right at the end of the stream. 20 minutes of Q&A. Ask me whatever you want. You got questions about how I film, questions about the collection, questions about what I just hit off camera. Ask me anything. That's what we're going to do towards the end of the stream. So, Will, shall we get started with the news? There's a lot.
I think, we got to hit the news first, bro, because I know there's at least one thing in there that I am super amped about, and you know this. So,
and, Will, I know what it is, and I think a lot of people probably know what it is.
They do.
Because,
Yeah, I'm pretty predictable. Oh, there we go. Unexplored 4, my favorite game.
Unexplored 4. But the best part is, even though it says Unexplored 4 on the base,
yeah, right.
It says Uncharted 4.
Right. That's why, Justin, when I looked it up and I did my preview video, I was like, is this licensed? Because it's Unexplored 4, but then the base is Uncharted 4. And I was like, what is going on here? It was very odd.
Yeah. It's sneaky. It's LimToys being real sneaky, but I'm so glad it doesn't say Unexplored 4 on the base. Can you imagine?
I know. Well, they do that, with third party. They do that all the time, bro. It's like Last of Us, The Last Survivor, and stuff like that.
I literally have this base from the Marty McFly from Present Toys, and on the base it says "Through the Boy." Just put nothing. Literally,
just put nothing. It's kind of like Pop Toys did it right. Pop Toys Scorpion, it's just literally a black base. That's it. If you can't put the name of the character on there, just make it a simple base. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
This guy, though, I've seen comments online, and I agree with them. They said not only is this a really impressive third-party figure, but it's one of the most impressive figures that they have ever seen. And I'm right up there. I agree with that. This thing looks insane. The amount of accessories, the seamless forearms, it's a new thing. I'm glad that it's happening with third-party now. The head sculpt, you get 2 of them, and the diorama base. It's the full package, pretty much, for Nathan Drake. The only thing I would have liked to have seen is maybe the white shirt as well, just as a throw-in. I know it's not accurate to Uncharted 4, but still, it's a classic for Nathan Drake. It would have been a nice touch in the shemag, maybe, from Uncharted 3, but this thing looks insane. And LimToys, we know LimToys. They deliver. So I'm pretty confident that final product will be very, very close to this. But Will, you have been waiting. Every time I spoke about a different Nathan Drake, whether it was the 11 and Kai one or whatever, you're like, nah, bro. Let's wait for the LimToys one. Did it deliver for you?
Yeah, absolutely, Justin. Absolutely, bro. And this is kind of like what I preach all the time about holding out for ultimate quality. Because one thing I do want to know, and I think, Justin, you know this, for LimToys, I think holding out is the right word because they take a really long time. Arthur Morgan, I think, took 2 years. Probably 2 years. It was a long time. It kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And some people started to lose hope, but I did not lose hope. And that figure delivered in every sense of the word. That Arthur Morgan is right up there just now. I was posing it again yesterday. It's so good, bro. It's so good. Absolutely love that figure. If Nathan Drake is going to be anything like that Arthur Morgan figure, I'm going to be super excited to get this thing, bro. Dude, I'm a huge fan of these PlayStation characters. I feel like just the connection you have to them is so much more intimate than a film. It's a little bit different because you spend a lot of times 20 to 30 or more hours with this character. You get to know them a little bit more intimately. You spend a lot of time through the ups and downs of their journey. You control them literally. And it's just like you form a very tight, intimate connection with them. And I played all the Uncharted games. I even like the DLC ones with Chloe and Nadine. Those were great. So I don't know if they're going to tackle other figures from this line. I would assume probably not. But this Nathan Drake, bro, dude, I think Hot Toys, what I love about this is eventually Hot Toys and other companies are going to have to start doing the seamless forearms too, because these companies are going to force their hand basically, because all the consumers are going to be like, well, when this is out, the other stuff is not good enough. Like Shang-Chi, for example, should have had that. Shang-Chi probably should have had seamless forearms, right? But he doesn't. And, this Nathan Drake, bro, the base is amazing. And the price, honestly, dude, like $228 shipped on the kit and other places. Like, you can't beat that for this figure. I thought it was going to be $300, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean,
it's great.
That base, it's great. I don't know if it's modular because it's that hexagonal style. It looks like the pieces plug on. So who knows? Maybe you can customize it. Maybe if you don't have the width for all of the stuff on there, you can take them off, because up top, it just looks like a classic hexagonal base. So it'll fit in maybe with what you have already, but also if you want to go full on diorama, there's so much awesome stuff here. And I'm pretty sure, because if we go back to the previous image, all the little, this looks like when you're on PlayStation and you pick up the thing and you can either rotate and look around. I'm pretty sure that's what the stuff is on the base. So you have storage for the accessories on the base for all of those artifacts. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever seen that before, honestly.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, dude. It reminds me a little bit of the Jack Sparrow base. I think maybe because the flag is really what's drawing those comparisons for me. But I think when you think of diorama bases, Justin, this is exactly what you're looking for. And this head sculpt, bro, I first thought it was movable eyes, and I quickly realized it was 2 head sculpts. So 2 head sculpts with different sort of expressions and eye placement and stuff like that. They nailed this, bro. And Justin, how good that Arthur Morgan is. That Arthur Morgan is really, really good. And it seems like they've made this one even better. I cannot wait for Joel and Ellie, which LimToys said they're going to announce in March. So Joel's going to have supposedly seamless forearms as well. Swappable hair pieces, apparently, and movable eyes. Like, LimToys is going all in, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. And Bob Dylan, he's right. He did say Days of Future Past Wolverine has a seamless forearms. Yes, absolutely. Hot Toys did do that. I am hoping that we get more of that, though, because they've kind of not done it since, which is a bit weird. So, we'll see if they do. But this head sculpt with and even the sweat on the neck and the little chest hairs, like those little specks of sweat, it's some crazy detail. That's really, really detailed. And for a dude who's jumping around and, exploring, makes sense. It'd be a bit sweaty.
He's exploring the unexplored areas. So
exactly.
4 times.
It's 4 times. So it's not only seamless forearms. Actually, it looks like the seamless forearm is only on the right side. And on the left side, because of the watch, you've got hands. So you got options. So you don't just have to go with, set gestures for both sides. If you want to get a little bit more creative, you can do that on the left side because the watch is covering that wrist peg.
Exactly.
Which is pretty clever. So it's kind of a mix of both, but insane array of accessories here. And that base is stunning.
And I love, Justin, that it says Uncharted 4, like you said. And I'm just so excited that they were somehow able to pull that off. I mean, not legally, obviously, but they were ballsy enough to put Uncharted 4 on the base, dude. This is one of the figures that I've been most excited for a while. And I love Nathan Drake. He's not quite Joel or Ellie to me or Jin Sakai, but I really love Nathan Drake. And this figure, man, it's got a lot of people excited. Like I woke up and I saw this, I was like, got to do a preview, baby, because I was so hyped to just talk about it. And that's why I'm glad you started with this, because I love everything about this figure.
I had to. I knew you were excited, but something else that I think you're excited about. I saw you had this on your live stream. I didn't quite watch your video. Maybe not. I don't know anything about Walking Dead, so I'm just gonna say my piece and then hand it off to you.
Yeah.
This is Rick Grimes, I think from later in the show.
Yeah.
The thing that intrigues me is seamless forearms, again, third party, and rooted hair from Present Toys. This is the first time they've done rooted hair. And I don't know about the likeness, etc., but the outfit, I think, looks good. Love the seamless forearms, and the rooted hair looks pretty good. And I'm pretty sure the beard might be rooted as well. I don't know. I'm pretty impressed. Maybe the likeness is off, so that's what I'll hand right over to you, Will. I've said my piece. Let me know in the chat, by the way, what you'll think about Rick Grimes in 1/6 scale by Present Toys.
Dude, Justin, Present Toys is for one thing stepping their game up. With this one though, it needs some refinement. So it's funny, the rooted hair is actually great. That actually looks really strong. It looks very close to Rick. The outfit, I'm not exactly crazy about. It looks a little like low end and cheap to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sure what about the materials that look a little bit off. As far as the likeness goes, it's not quite there. Like it's I feel like it's almost kind of there, but maybe they're being let down in the paint. That's the feeling that I get from it. Maybe the paint application is not quite going to the level that we want it to, but I love a lot of other things about it. I don't know though. I mean, at the end of the day, 3-0 didn't do this specific Rick Grimes, but they did season 1, and they did that one pretty well for a pretty good price with a lot of good accessories. So it's kind of hard to jump in on this one. I'd almost rather wait to see if they make it a little bit better, or maybe they someone else makes this one a little bit better. But I love that they're doing rooted hair, but the likeness is a little off. Like it's something with the nose and just the eyes. Like there's who it is, so it's not completely a lost cause, but at the end of the day, it's like it's not quite to the level that I think most people would probably want it. But it's solid but not great, let's say that.
Couple of comments from the chat.
What did they say?
No says his beard looks like hair implants. And someone else said his clothes look like they're from Hobby Lobby. We don't have Hobby Lobby in Australia, but I get
Hobby Lobby's great, but they don't sell clothes, do they? I don't think they do.
Well, I think that's the point. It's like,
okay, gotcha. I see what they mean. Okay, yeah. Well, Justin, what I would say, probably the most damning thing you could say about this figure, it looks like a third-party figure. That's what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like, whereas the Nathan Drake does not. Yeah.
I agree. That Nathan Drake, 100%, that could be sold as a PlayStation Store exclusive. Right. You'd be able to go to your, what's the store that you'll buy games from in America?
GameStop?
GameStop. You'd be able to go there and it'd be in a glass cabinet. It's being sold right alongside a PS5, or even like an exclusive as part of a package deal with your PS5. You can see that happening. Mm-hmm. This, no. I don't think this can be sold with a Blu-ray for Walking Dead. The thing that I do like about the clothes, though, is the weathering. At the very least, it's not pristine. So they've weathered him up. The material, though, I agree, is a little bit bulky. So I'm seeing the Hobby Lobby thing. I said I liked the outfit, but I was more talking about the weathering. So thank you for weighing in the chat. Keep on doing that, because we got a tease. Ooh. We're going to spend too long here, because it's the only picture we have. So 1/6 Kit posted this teaser. It's Present Toys again. Present Toys have been kind of firing on all cylinders lately. They've been dropping pre-orders for stuff that people have been waiting for, and they've been releasing pretty solid work. Like, they've been doing good work. Not perfect. A couple of things like Through the Boy. Keep bringing this face in, but so stupid.
Yeah.
Blade. Wesley Snipes as Blade. That Hot Toys one is like a grail for a lot of people. And finally, you should hopefully have a really decent representation by Present Toys, because with their Indiana Jones, his jacket was real leather. So I'm hoping this jacket is also real leather. It has the bulkiness of real leather. And that was one of the biggest issues with the Hot Toys one, was flaking, of course.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Will, are you a Blade fan? Is this something you're interested in?
Kind of. I remember watching it when I was a kid, Justin, but I haven't really thought that much about it since, to be honest. I know a lot of people were excited and calling for Wesley Snipes to, play his role again, as Blade instead of Mahershala Ali. Honestly, I hope that film gets made at all at this point because it's been a total mess. But I love Mahershala Ali. He's one of my favorite actors. I don't think you could have casted a better actor. Two-time Oscar winner. He's incredible. But as far as Wesley Snipes goes, yeah, he made this character iconic. And a lot of people think he's to credit for the superhero genre being where it is now because he was one of the first ones to sort of popularize the genre and make it sort of, you know, it was still campy in a way, but make it a little more socially accepted and accepted by, you know, Hollywood and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it looks cool, man. I honestly, when you take the glasses off, though, I think there was another picture that was shared of the head sculpt, and I saw it, and I was like, it's not terrible, but Present Toys is like almost there, but they almost need to like get a little bit better and then like, you know, reach the next level. But everything else looks pretty good. I think this looks great. If you put the sunglasses on him, I think a lot of people are going to be really happy with this.
Yeah, it's going to be my only Blade. I never owned the Hot Toys one. I never owned. There was like a kit going around back in the day that you could like put together yourself. I never owned that. So I'm happy that this is going to be me only Blade until we get an MCU version, maybe eventually, like you said, if that happens. Right. So for now, it will be my only Blade whenever it eventually goes up for pre-order. And Ken also did say in the chat that 1/6 kit, they have a replacement Doc Brown head sculpt with a different expression, no open mouth, and no holes for the glasses, which he doesn't come with. And I pre-ordered that as soon as I saw it because I really like the head sculpt that it comes with, but it's the same thing as Back to the Future 2, Doc, and they're right next to each other, so it looks stupid. So Ken is right. If you want a replacement Doc Brown head sculpt, do that. This will be getting a figure preview video as soon as Hot Toys puts it up on display for Ryan to go and take pics of it, because they haven't as of yet. But when they do, full figure preview video. We're not going to spend long here, but it's 89 Batman. I had to bring it up. Come on, it's
true.
It's not necessarily a reissue. People think, oh, it's a reissue. No. So it's a new body. It's a new outfit with more texture. The head sculpt is new. The cape is a completely different material. You've got new accessories, new diorama base. It's a 2.0. Let's just call it what it is. It's a 2.0. Will, 89 Batman. I don't think we've ever spoken about 89 Batman at length. I know you haven't seen any of the other films, which you need to rectify.
Yeah, I know.
89 Batman. Is this one that will make its way into your... Look at that, by the way, on that huge diorama base. It's a monster.
He's doing the Titanic pose. That's what that looks like. King of the world. Doesn't it look like Leonardo DiCaprio doing that pose? I mean, all you need is Kate Winslet, and you would have a perfect pose. So,
or Catwoman.
Yeah, exactly. You could.
Hey, there you
could
go.
do that with Batman and Catwoman. That would be great, actually.
Yep. But seriously, that diorama base is an absolute monster. It is taller than him. So if you displayed him like this, you would need like infinite height in your display.
Yeah. It does it looks like an amazing figure, Justin. Seriously, man. It looks really, really good. I know this is one of the things I've caught probably the most flack for, not seeing the other Batman, 89 Batman Returns.
Just watch the next one. You don't have to watch the rest, just the next one.
Okay, gotcha. And then I've also, like Back to the Future, I've only seen the first one. I've not seen 2 or 3. So that's also one of the things that people tend to get on me a lot. They're like, well, like what is wrong with you?
Come on now.
But yeah, so as far as this Batman though, Justin, this figure is incredible. It's really, really well done. I'm not sure really what bad you could say about it other than maybe the teeth head sculpt is like it looks a little funny, but yeah, it looks a little bit awkward. But at the end of the day, like he's just kind of like, he looks kind of, I don't know how to describe him. He looks upset.
Big goofy.
Yeah, right. He's like grinning. He's just like, smile for the camera. It's like his mom asked him to smile and he's some reason bloody. That's what it looks like to me. But otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty dope figure. And the base, dude, you're absolutely right. It's incredible. And even if you don't want the base, the regular base, the standard one looks great too. It's just not a diorama base, but it looks really cool.
DX style. Classic DX.
Yeah, it had like the lights in it and you could light it up and everything. It looks great. I even said, I was like, I'd almost want that base too. Like I almost want that base to use it, so if you don't have the space for the diorama gargoyle base, then I think, dude, I haven't seen the community this excited for a figure in a little while now. So this one really got the community, I think, pretty juiced up. So I'm excited for everyone else getting it.
Yeah, I have a question though.
Yeah,
I'm super excited, but timing's a bit weird, no? Because this was shown ages ago. And we just saw Keaton in the Flash trailer, and that movie's going to be out in a few months. So are Hot Toys going to have 2 Keaton Batman figures on pre-order at the same time?
See, that was my question. And I was wondering, Justin, how many people would actually double dip? And supposedly a lot of people seem to think that they will, but I don't know. When you start getting charged for both, I'm not sure you're going to feel that way because, you're going to be paying almost $400 for this one after shipping and tax and all that kind of stuff. And then, if another one comes out that's $300 or $350, then you're dedicating $800 or $750 to two Keaton Batmans that might not be that different. So I don't know. I guess we're going to see how many super fans there are, but it is peculiar timing because I would assume if you had to pick one, you would pick this one.
It's, for now, until we see that movie, it's the more iconic of the two. I mean, first time we ever saw Keaton as Batman, redefined Batman for a lot of people because before that, Adam West and the whole campy vibe, this was a much more grown-up adult take on the character. I'm with you. For now, this is the most iconic. Improved articulation. I mean, you can get his leg up that high. The old one could never do that. Not even on a good day. Fresh out of the box.
Not even when he stretched that day. He could not get in that type of position.
And he could do this because he's got the poles in the cape, but the arms would kind of go down over time. The new cape is not pleather. That was one of the big issues with the previous one. It was pleather and it would flake over time. Really frustrating. This one's not going to have that issue. And the diorama base can actually have the gargoyle rotate, so you can display it either way. If you want to have him hanging off the ledge, like at the end of the movie, I don't know how you would do that, but it's possible. Where there's a will, there's a way. You could get that done.
That's true.
They did also tease the back computer.
They did.
Hot Toys, don't make this.
You don't think so? I think they're going to make it. I think they're going to make it.
Unless they want 1,000 back computers in their warehouse up to there.
Well, it's going to be like $250 to $300 probably, and then a lot of people are going to be like, yeah.
So. Well, I wanted it, but now maybe I don't want it. So,
and the space, we'll space involved too. Yeah,
exactly. Would you have the back computer, or would you have some like 5 other figures?
Right. You could probably have realistically like three to 4 figures where that back computer is. Yeah.
You could have a lot more than a couple of screens or a few screens. Yeah, there's a few screens, I guess.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, let's move on because we've got some headlines, some Daily Bugle headlines, and one of these was donated by the chat last week, and one of them is my own creation. So I'm not going to tell you which is which. But if you want to see your main topic as a headline topic next week, leave it in the chat, either during the stream or after the stream. I always go through the comments. You all know I do. So I'll go through it and pick some exciting topics, and then we'll feature those as headline topics next week. That's how I'm planning on doing it. So let's kick things off with it's kind of divisive, I guess, but I don't know if I'm going to ruffle feathers with this one.
Let's do it.
Maybe. All right, I'm going to do it. Can a bad movie spawn good figures? This is a question I see a lot, and a statement I see a lot. It's like, Justin, you've got terrible taste in movies, but that figure is really good.
That's where you got me.
Now, the thing that's going to get divisive is the movies that I have picked for the bad movies may not necessarily be bad movies for you. And that's fine. But based on Rotten Tomatoes-ish scores and also community thoughts, some of these, they're pretty widely regarded as not great movies. So that's why I picked some of these. I really like this movie. I really like Birds of Prey, and it's rated pretty well Rotten Tomatoes-wise, but a lot of people don't. So that's why it's here. But Birds of Prey, Will, this movie, did it work for you?
No. Absolutely not, dude. It's funny. I really wanted to like this, Justin. I really wanted to like this film. I actually went in. I was like, this is going to be good. I thought, this is going to be really good, dude. I really did not like it.
You were hoping.
Yeah, I was really hopeful going in. Honestly, Justin, did this produce a good film or a good figure? Because because with this one, the figure had visible joints and stuff, and it was I can't remember what other Harleys came out from this film, but I remember this one from the outfit on the poster, and I was like, it had visible knees. Yeah, see, there it is.
It did. It did have visible knees, Will, but it had multiple outfits, and that coat was awesome. So I'm going to ask the question not only to you but to the audience: did this bad movie or poorly received movie, I won't call it bad because some people might like it,
right?
Did it spawn good figures? You had 2 Harleys, this Harley and the golden dungarees / jumpsuit one. They call it the booby trap battle because at the end that's where they were battling in the funhouse booby trap thing. And at the end of this topic, by the way, I'm planning on doing it like a yes or no. Can a bad movie spawn good figures? Yes or no? So it's not going to be like a maybe. Full on yes or no. I'm going to commit. But with this one, did this movie spawn a good version of Harley? Will, did you like this? Just the knees, I know, will throw you off straight away.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, Justin, because I would also say the teeth. The teeth bother me on like every Harley figure I think I look at. It also bothered me on the J&D for that matter. So maybe maybe I just care too much about the teeth and the smile, but I feel like it throws off the likeness if it's not perfect. So it kind of gives me like not quite Ant-Man vibes, but it kind of gives me a little bit of Ant-Man vibes with the teeth, right? Because remember the teeth when he was smiling, it just was like, it's too creepy. His mouth doesn't look right. And there's the same things going on with this one, I feel like. I look at it and I'm like, her teeth are like, it's almost like they're protruding from her mouth or something. Something just looks, it's like that uncanny valley thing, That's what it reminds me
There's not enough depth between like the lips and the mouth. It's like it's like flat plane. It's like,
exactly. It looks unnatural. It looks like a doll or something. Yeah, like it looks, and that's kind of the problem with it. But to have everyone who has this figure, I'm happy for you. If you love it, that's great. So to answer the question, I would say yes, Justin. I think a bad movie can spawn really good figures. I think it just depends on.
But this isn't one of them.
Yeah, not this you. This is not the example. For example, Venom 1, I don't love, but that Venom figure is amazing.
Okay. Not on my list, actually, but it could be. By the way, throw some figures in the chat that you think came from a bad movie but are really good figures, and I'll go through them at the end of this topic. Just, I'm curious to see what you'll have to say as well.
The sequels to a lot of people, Justin. Star Wars. So
Star Wars sequels, that is true. This was one. A lot of people can agree. Suicide Squad 1, not a great movie. And I didn't mean to put two Harleys in a row now that I see that I've done that. So I apologize for being redundant. But this Harley, a lot of people say is the best Harley. And it was from a movie that wasn't great. Now, she did have exposed knees, not quite as bad as these, because this is the prototype. The final product, the knees looked a little bit better, but still. Will, did you like this version of Harley? Is this the ultimate version of Harley for you?
I would say this version's a lot better, yeah. I would say this version's a lot better. You can still see the knees through the pantyhose, but it's a lot better. This probably is the more iconic version. I actually have never owned a Harley Quinn figure, so yes. I'm not the biggest Harley fan in the world, to be honest. Like, I like Harley. I always thought she was good, but it's not like, oh man, I need a Harley in my collection. But a lot of people obviously disagree with me on that one because Harley's been a super popular character, it seems. Every statue company's making her, every Hot Toys is making her in multiple versions in the same film. And I would say this is probably the most iconic one. I'm trying to remember even what the other ones were. Like, I remember that one you just showed because I remember how much I didn't like it. But but the other ones, what was the other one that was more iconic? I don't remember. Do you know?
I don't think it was. There was from this movie, we had 3 different versions of Harley. We had this version. We had the dress version from the club scene. And we had the prisoner Harley with the espresso and reading the romantic book, the 50 Shades of Grey, whatever it was, that she was reading in the prison when she was rescued by Joker. So we had 3 from that movie. Then we had 2 from Birds of Prey, which was one was the caution tape one, and the other was the golden dungarees. So we've got 5 Harleys in total from Hot Toys.
Yeah, that's a lot of Harleys. I would say this is probably the iconic one out of the ones you listed. I'm glad you mentioned this one.
This is going to be so divisive.
This is where it's going to get spicy, yeah.
Oh, it's going to get so spicy. I didn't like this movie. A lot of people really, really like this movie. The critics didn't love it. I didn't love it. Will, I don't think you loved it either.
No.
But we're not really here to debate the merits of the movie. We're here to debate, did it spawn good figures? And I think it did. There's 2 Doctor Strange figures currently announced. Why they didn't do Defender Strange, I will never know. But both of them, I think, look insanely good. So this is going back into the yes side. Yes, I think a movie that's divisive can spawn some really good figures because these 2, they look like showstoppers, especially the next one, which I think we all know what's going to be. Will, Doctor Strange, did you have any Doctor Stranges?
I have the Infinity War Doctor Strange, but the dilemma, Justin, is this is not this one, but the previous head sculpt. That is the best Doctor Strange head sculpt that has ever been done by Hot Toys, and it makes me very upset because I have the Infinity War one, which is still good, but this one is a big improvement. So if the final comes out anything like this, then I think it is going to be a tough decision. But yes, I did not love Multiverse of Madness either. I didn't hate it. I thought it was maybe like a 7 out of 10. Like I was very disappointed, but I didn't think it was a complete loss. But I think this is great. And of course, the Wanda too is really, really good. The Wanda looks real good. That's the one
And
I
Dead
want.
Strange. And Dead Strange. I mean, that dead cape,
It's cool.
it's nasty, but it's gonna be eye-catching in the display for sure.
Yeah,
This one's not divisive. It's a terrible movie. No problem admitting that. The Last Night, not a good film. But the designs and 3Zero's DLX line, chock full of diecast, crazy engineering. So once again, another yes. I think absolutely. Bad movies can have good figures. But another side of the argument is, well, as good as the figures look, if the source material isn't good, doesn't that sort of like taint this character design for you when you go in and look at the collection? Oh, bloody hell. It's from that freaking Transformers 5 with the Michael Bayness and the Mark Wahlberg and oh god. Like, does that factor in? Do you get bad memories, like flashbacks of stupid scenes? Like, you know, Hot Rod saying, "I'll stop the time" constantly.
It does for me. It does for me personally. So that's why I feel like if you're, because like one of the reasons, Justin, I know that everyone says, anytime you ask anyone a question, like I said, I've said this a bunch, but anytime you ask the question, why do you collect Hot Toys? Why do you collect 6K or whatever? They always say nostalgia. That's why I do it, right? I don't feel nostalgia about things that were not fun or good. So, you know, so
Really?
Transformers.
You don't?
Yeah, no, I don't feel nostalgic for the bad times. I don't feel that. So I would say that at the end of the day, like if it's one of those where the film's just not that great, it can diminish it. However, if you're looking at it purely as a figure and you're like, this figure is dope and I don't really care what the source material was because it looks great. There are a lot of people that can do that. And sometimes I can do it. Like I said, Venom. I have Venom and I love Venom because I love the character. I love the character of Venom, but I just didn't love the first film, although I did like the second one. So, but yeah, you know, if it's a bad film, it can make you question whether you really want the figure. But if it's an iconic character for you, then I think you're willing to look past it.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And Transformers 5 was one of them. Wonder Woman 84, Bob Dylan earlier said this. I guess he knew it was coming. Wonder Woman 84, a film I enjoyed. Not a lot of people did. Once again, can a bad movie spawn good figures? Yeah. In this instance, it did. Golden Armor Wonder Woman with that wingspan. I've seen so many people with the deluxe Golden Arm Wonder Woman with that huge wingspan on top of their detolfs as like their centerpiece. That is their DC centerpiece. So if everyone was following the mindset of like, nah, that movie just a no, won't get the figure, we wouldn't have ever seen that. So I think people are sometimes, if it's an iconic character, like you said, people are willing to overlook that for Golden Armor Wonder Woman and for this new one. The prototype, I think, looks a little bit worse than the final. A lot of people don't agree, but the one that I have in hand looks insanely good. So we got two figures from a bad movie that are both really good. Brand new seamless body made out of silicon for the first time. Usually they use something called thermoplastic rubber. It's a mix of plastic and rubber, their own custom creation. Quite rigid, tends to crack and peel. This is the first time they've ever gone with silicon, so it's a brand new body. Can you... I don't even know how they decided to invest in a brand new style of body for a character that maybe we would never see again. She might be having another appearance in The Flash. Thank you, Funko Pop, for potentially spoiling that for me. So maybe they'll have one more chance to use that new body. Just one more. But I think, in this instance, absolutely. Will, Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84. It was a massive disappointment. A massive disappointment. Unfortunately, I love Pedro Pascal in it, but the rest of the film, dude, Justin, I was watching it and I was like, I'm getting a headache watching this. It was very unfortunate because Patty Jenkins is obviously showing she's a really strong director. And what she did with the first Wonder Woman was great. Really enjoyed that film. But then I watched Wonder Woman 84 and I'm like, what went wrong here? Like, it was just, and first off, the opening sequence or whatever it is with the whole chase scene of her as a kid and stuff. And I was like, this is going on way too long. This is like the longest thing ever. And I was like, what is the point of this here? I don't know. And it never really leads to anything, I felt like. And then she I don't want to get into the whole possession thing with Chris Pine's character. It was I don't know who wrote that. It was a very weird situation. But basically, dude, this film was very disappointing. But the figure, Justin, I don't know because I don't have it in hand like you do. But when I saw the original final photos, I was like, something with the neck looked a bit off. And then something with the sculpt. I was like, I think the sculpt looked better, but then the neck. And then I saw some other things. But the body looks great on this. And I'm glad, like you said, they invested in a new body. But I think yeah, you can make good figures out of bad films. Look at Morbius, for example. So
That is true. That is a very good one. I wish I had that on my list now.
yeah, see
Damn.
Morbius. We don't
God
have
damn.
a final product yet, but
That is
I mean,
true.
how are
That
you
is
going to
true.
mess that one up? I mean, yeah,
Surely they can't.
right.
But they might.
Yeah,
Surely they can't.
doubtful,
But they
but
might.
it's not even really like a head sculpt. It's just like a vampire sculpt. So.
Yeah, it's like a creature. Shiny
Yeah,
Shiny says, I could easily get a figure from a movie I haven't even seen if the figure is amazing. Art is art. That is another good point. Art is art.
It is.
So if you like it just based on the figure itself rather than anything that's come before it or what it is actually based off, it's a very good point, Shiny Shiny. Thank you. RoboCop 3. So we replaced Peter Weller as RoboCop with John Burke. I'm pretty sure is his name. I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat, I think. So we've replaced RoboCop straight up. And the premise is a bit weird. Worst out of the 3 RoboCop films, I think. Still a good popcorn flick. Bit of fun. But this new RoboCop figure, I saw so much excitement when they announced this. They were cheeky and they reused the Peter Weller faceplate. So recasting, who cares? It's still Peter Weller for Hot Toys. And the color scheme, that blue with the purple hue, damn. It's pretty.
This looks pretty good, Justin. I've only seen the first RoboCop, so
So you're fine.
This is actually a good situation where it worked out in my benefit. So I've only seen the first RoboCop. So to me, they all look fairly similar. But to the to the uninitiated, the disengaged like myself, I would say that this RoboCop looks pretty similar to the other ones. And I'm going to take your word for it. If you say that RoboCop 3 is bad, then I'm going to say it's bad also. I'm going to take your word.
I'm going to get flack. Some people are like, RoboCop 3 is my favorite
RoboCop 3
one.
is a grail.
How dare you?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I'm sure I like the first one. I remember watching the first one. The first one was pretty good.
First one is good. And a lot of people like Kane in the second one. He's like the villain of sorts. Interesting design for sure. But nevertheless, at the end of this topic, this Daily Bugle headline topic, by the way, this is the one I came up with. So if you didn't like it, then you can blame me 100%.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I thought it was a bit of fun too, but to answer the question with like a yes or no, I think yes.
Yeah.
So there are things that can work against it. Like if the movie is so bad that it kind of ruins that character for you. Like a lot of people said Game of Thrones, like the last season just completely ruined the entire show. For me, it didn't happen. I mean, the rest of the other 7 seasons still happened, and I still really liked the characters, but I didn't mind the ending of Game of Thrones. I have watched it, by the way. The reason I haven't been mentioning that I've been watching it is because I didn't want to get spoiled. Yep. Somehow I avoided all the spoilers and I watched it. Completely unrelated to this topic, but yes, I think a bad movie can absolutely spawn good figures. Just a disclaimer, do not let my thoughts on these movies ruin them for you. If you like them, that is totally fine. We don't have to agree. So I apologize if I've offended anyone with my movie choices. I'll hand it over to Will to give his final thoughts on this main topic. Then we'll go right on to the next one.
Absolutely, bro. I think absolutely a bad film can spawn good figures. Like I said, depending upon who you ask about the Star Wars sequel films, I really like the sequel films, especially 1 and 3. I like Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi, I liked it. It was good. It was satisfying overall, but I didn't love it, right? So I think to a lot of people, they didn't like all 3 of them apparently, and they spawned some pretty good figures.
Really?
The Praetorian Guards. The Rays, the Kylo Rens, the First Order Stormtroopers. So
Captain Phasma even.
Yeah, Phasma is pretty good. First Order Stormtrooper is not a good example, but for the other ones, I would say yes. And like I said, Venom for me, a lot of people didn't love Venom and Carnage, or Let There Be Carnage, the second Venom, and I thought it was a pretty fun film. So a lot of people didn't even love it, and they're still going to get that Carnage. So I think, and Morbius, no one loved. So no one went to see it, and no one went to see Morbius, and no one really liked it apparently. So maybe some, but I don't want to put everyone in the same box. But but at the end of the day, yeah, I think absolutely, bro, absolutely, you can make a good film. Some people didn't like It Chapter 2, and technically, I think that Pennywise was It 2. So
yes,
they're both great though. So watch them again because they're both great.
Just watch them. I haven't watched them at all because I don't know. I'm not a horror boy, but maybe I'll come around. I don't know. Maybe one day. Just to wrap up, though, yes, I think a bad movie can absolutely spawn some pretty freaking good figures because, like Shiny said, art is art.
It's true.
Next topic, though. This one is the community topic. Thank you for the suggestion. And I thought it was a pretty interesting one. I've kind of approached it in a different way to how it was posed, but it's still the same vein. Can you only collect Hot Toys alternatives. Just anything but Hot Toys in 1/6 scale, and still put together a good line, a good display. It's a very interesting question. I've never tried to do that because Hot Toys just inherently 1/6 scale. Hot Toys, they get thrown in the mix because a lot of people say they're the best and they have the most licenses. They produce the most figures in a given year. I can see that. But what if you didn't want to get Hot Toys? Price or availability, or just didn't like the licenses, or whatever reason? It's a very interesting question. So I've got some pictures of people's collections of non-Hot Toys figures only. And I don't know if we're going to be able to have like a definitive answer at the end of this. Like, yes, absolutely, only non-Hot Toys, never get any Hot Toys. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's going to make for some pretty interesting discussion both in the chat, and I think, Will, I want to hear your opinion on this as well. So
Yeah.
while we're discussing this, I'll bring up some pictures. I'll have them going in the background, of people's collections. This is an interesting one. So Mortal Kombat, Hot Toys never made any Mortal Kombat figures. No, not yet. These are the game ones by Storm Collectibles, and they're slowly starting to build out a line. We've got Sub-Zero, we've got Scorpion, and we've got Noob Saibot. So we've got 3 of the ninjas. Will they do a reptile? I don't know. Will they do anyone else? I don't know. That is one of the reasons why this is a bit of a struggle. Because, Will, you start off with the Storm Collectibles line. You could be waiting years for them to make a Shao Kahn or a Goro, and it never happens. So you're just sitting there with these 2 or 3 ninjas in your display. You're waiting. I really want to build out this Mortal Kombat line, and it never happens. Is that a factor? Or does it not matter? Is it like, I've got the characters that I wanted, that's it?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Justin, what I would say, the term for this is hipster collecting, because if you
I like that.
Because you are not collecting the main lines, the Hot Toys lines, because I'm willing to bet, Justin, a lot of people, and I think I've said this before, a lot of people got into 1/6 scale because of Hot Toys, not because they wanted to collect 1/6 scale specifically. It's because they got Hot Toys, saw how realistic they were, and for many, many years, they were really the only real big company that was producing really lifelike realistic figures. So people just stuck with Hot Toys. Now you got these statue companies coming in. You got InArt, and even 3-0 is getting better. And other companies will come in and they got LimToys making really good figures, and Game Toys and all these other companies and so. But it's absolutely possible to do it. It's just pretty difficult because I feel like the only way you'd be able to pull that off would be maybe you don't either have the budget to get Star Wars or Marvel figures, or you just don't like Star Wars, Marvel, or DC figures, which is very few collectors, because that's the reason that Hot Toys has those licenses, because they are the most popular and they're the most profitable licenses, especially Star Wars and Marvel. So it's kind of hard to find, fans in our sort of little group or community, our echo chamber, so to speak, that do not like Star Wars and Marvel. That would probably be the only way you wouldn't collect Hot Toys if you collect 1/6. Yeah, maybe you really love Transformers and you only want Transformers, or maybe you only love the PlayStation characters like I do, and then you only collect those, right? That could be something that happens. But or maybe you really love Lord of the Rings and you only want the Asmus and InArt stuff, right? Could be that. Maybe you love Game of Thrones and that's the only stuff you want to collect because you want a consistent line and you don't want to dip into other IPs. That could be something that happens. So it's totally possible. It just depends, I guess, where your priorities lie. Because if you have any sort of inclination or serious fandom for Star Wars and Marvel, it's very difficult to ignore Hot Toys.
So freaking difficult. Because even third party, they don't really touch Star Wars, to be honest. They do a little bit for Marvel, but imagine only putting together a Marvel collection via third party. Like, what would you have?
That would be super difficult.
It could be done, but it would be really weird. Like, you'd have just a random Red Guardian, and then you'd have like Baron Zemo.
You'd have Juice Girl Hela.
Yeah, have Juice Girl Hela, but no Thor and no like Iron Man, no main characters. Although there are a couple third party versions out there.
Right.
Seriously though, for licenses that Hot Toys don't really have another option. So if you are a massive Transformers fan, this is the 3-0 premium scale line. They're all relatively in scale, except Bumblebee's way too big, I think. You can do it because it's your only option. You have to do it. If you want a Transformer by Hot Toys, they made an Optimus Prime. That's true. It was pretty bad. I didn't like it. Some people did like it. Some people still have that, but 3-0 kind of your only option if you want to go Transformers. So one of the arguments for is yes, if it's a license that Hot Toys simply doesn't have and never will. Something that maybe is against, though, is quality. I'm not saying
Mhm.
3-0. 3-0 makes some insanely well-engineered Transformers figures like this Bumblebee lineup. Awesome. You got Prime, Bumblebee, Blitzwing, Soundwave, also from the Bumblebee movie. Great little mini collection. But quality-wise, sometimes it can be hit and miss. So if you are just sticking with other companies, like these two are from So-So, got their Blind Vigilante, Daredevil, and we've got their Kingpin. But a lot of people don't like the body on Kingpin. I personally think it's fine. But there are those sort of questionable choices with third party. They don't have as much of a lead time, if you will, to do R&D and try things and, evolve over the years. They kind of hit and run. They come in, they drop the pre-order, they drop it real quick, and then they move on to the next thing because they never know if they're going to get shut down tomorrow. So that's for third party.
It's true.
I'm pretty sure you agree with this. The metric for quality on third party is fluctuating. It's a graph that is unpredictable.
Yeah, it is. And some companies are more consistent than others, for sure. Because I think Present Toys is doing a pretty good job, but they tend to be going up and down, right? It depends on the volume of figures that they're releasing too, because I only have one Pop Toys figure. So my only experience with them is that Scorpion, but it's incredible. And I can't wait, hopefully, for them to do Sub-Zero, and I hope they maintain that quality. Game Toys has produced 3 figures now. All 3 have been fantastic, amazing quality. So that's only 3 figures. So has produced a lot more than that. So they have a bigger volume body of work. So it just depends, I think, on the body of work there. Toys R Us has made a lot of figures, Toys R Us has made a lot. Some are pretty good and some are not as great, right? So it really just depends on the figure. So it's a tough one with third party. It's just, there's a lot of good alternatives out there right now. And LimToys, for example, I only have the Arthur Morgan. I've not had anything else from them. So I don't know. I can only base that off that. So, maybe if Nathan Drake delivers too, and they deliver Joel and Ellie really good too, like then that's 4 figures right there that would be really, really high quality. So I'm hopeful that's the case, but yeah, man, it's hard to collect Hot Toys alternatives without collecting Hot Toys. But like you said, 3-0, I'm glad you mentioned them, Justin. If they could fix their head sculpts and get them consistent, they would be a problem. They would be like 3-0. If they did that, Justin, and they produced like Hot Toys level quality head sculpts, they'd be on Hot Toys level because their tailoring is amazing. So are their accessories. Their Transformers are incredible, from what I've heard. If they could fix their head sculpt problem, I think that would be a game changer for them.
Head sculpt gate. I'm with you, and we do have more 3-0 to discuss, but Alfonso Nation is here. The reason I'm mentioning Alfonso, thank you so much for joining us, Alfonso, is because I've been binging your channel, sir. I just watched your review for the Voyager class Cheetor from Rise of the Beasts, and you convinced me to get the darn thing, so I'm going to click and collect. A little click and collect action. So I'm going to go pick it up after this stream, but I've been really enjoying your content, Alfonso, so keep it up, and one day if you want to come on the stream and chat Transformers, why the heck not? Let's do it. Let's give it a go. And I know you collect some Hot Toys as well. So.
I've seen all the Transformers movies, but I'm not a super fan. So,
there you go.
I like some of them.
Not yet. Maybe after Rise of the Beasts. Or it could go the other way. I don't know.
That looks great, though, Justin. The new Transformers films look really good, bro. Looks great.
I'm really hopeful. Speaking of 3-0, though, you can, if you are a Game of Thrones fan, absolutely put together a line. So we're back to that license thing. You can absolutely put together a line of 3-0 Game of Thrones, and I'm doing that. I don't know if you can see. I'm starting my little Game of Thrones collection back here. It's a work in progress. But back to the whole license discussion. Yes, you can. Hot Toys, head sculpts, pretty consistent. Consistency is king when it comes to 1/6 scale, because when you have that reputation, then you can be pretty sure that if you announce something, people are going to pre-order it because they know that you've got that reputation. Good head sculpts, good tailoring, good accessories. 3-0, if they start nailing head sculpts 100% of the time, or at least 90% of the time, they can have the odd stinker here and there. Bases, 3-0. That is one thing that I think is a no for this topic. Collecting only Hot Toys alternative is possible. No, because this to me doesn't really look like a finished display without the bases. It kind of just looks like, figures standing around, whereas the bases give it that real classy edge. The nameplate, a little bit of artwork, it just makes it look more complete. So I'm hoping that 3-0 does up the game with head sculpts, does start including bases, because once they do, with the licenses that they have, They've got Chainsaw Man. They've got Game of Thrones. They've got Walking Dead. A lot of HBO stuff. It could be a real problem. Their engineering is unquestionably good. The outfits, like you said, Will, the tailoring, very impressive. So, I mean, we're getting towards the end of this topic, and I'm kind of leaning towards a yes, maybe. Is it possible?
I think it is possible, but it's just, I feel like unlikely for most collectors.
Not probable.
Yeah, right. Not probable. Like, I feel like it would have to be one of those where, like I said, you just don't want Star Wars or Marvel stuff. Because if you do want Star Wars or Marvel stuff and you want to build that, or DC too, I always forget about DC, like, then you can't ignore Hot Toys. So it just depends. If you're a really hyper specific, have a hyper specific fandom for one IP, then at that point, yeah. Like if I was only collecting Last of Us stuff, obviously I would not be into Hot Toys. But only Game of Thrones stuff, right?
Anything,
then I would be like, yeah, I would just. But I'm with you, Justin. I've always said this, bro. I've said this to friends and on live streams everywhere in between. You need stands, not just 3-0 guys. Display your figures with stands, please.
And also for safety.
If something falls, you're going to regret it. I'm just telling you, like maybe you've never had a problem, but you will eventually. Eventually a day will come when your figure falls and you're going to be very upset you didn't use a stand. So that's what I would say.
You do. You do need stands.
Yes.
So the long and the short of it, I think it is possible, but like Will said, not probable. Because chances are, you don't have to like everything that Hot Toys makes, but there's always going to be that one like they're bloody doing Ant-Man, the Wasp, Quantumania, they're doing all this other stuff. I don't care about any of that. And then boom, they hit you with an 89 Batman out of nowhere. Everyone is aware of Michael Keaton as Batman, at the very least. I won't say everyone loves him, but I do, and a lot of people do. So that might be the thing that you're like, I've been avoiding Hot Toys for years. I've only done me 3-0 and my third party because I haven't really, it's not my thing. I more prefer Terminator and Game of Thrones, etc. But they'll get you eventually. They will. Whether it's RoboCop or whether it's 89 Batman or Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk or John Wick.
Yeah.
There are the randoms as well. So the Hot Toys, very, very, very difficult to avoid entirely. And luckily, if you are just doing that one odd figure every now and then, you don't have to worry about Hot Toys being insanely expensive, which is one thing that people say is a reason why they avoid them, because you're only picking up one. Whereas if you are all in on a full line, that can be really, really expensive. So this could potentially be a way of saving a little bit of money back in the pocket for other things. It's always a good thing. So if you are interested in collecting only Hot Toys alternatives, whether it's third party or other first party, like Asmus, Star Race, 3-0, and please don't just do a Star Race display. I mean, some of their stuff is good. I've got some in my display. I got the Ninja Batman stuff, but I'd say that you are very likely to eventually end up with something Hot Toys in your display because they cater to pretty much everyone. They go from the highs of Marvel with huge sprawling lines of full complements of characters from movies compared to, one-offs. They have something for everyone. And they know that. They're very clever with that. They know they're going to get you. If you're a figure collector, chances are, even if you're collecting Mafex, there's one character. If they make X characters, one character that you're probably going to pick up.
It's true.
It's how it is.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's too many good producers of figures, manufacturers out there right now to ignore. And, Hot Toys is still the king and they're going to be for the foreseeable future. But even what InArt is doing has people excited. And that's something that eventually people will not ignore quality. So when quality, starts, showing up on live streams, starts showing up in communities and other people have photos of the figures, that's going to be hard to ignore long term. And that's why Hot Toys has the presence and the command that it has, because they've earned that with their consistent quality over the last 10 to 15 plus years. So it's been a long time, and they've been, the king of realism and quality for a reason. So that's what I would say, bro. That's why Hot Toys is, king of the mountain, so to speak. And that's why they're hard to ignore. They have the IPs you want and they have the quality you want. So long story short, no, probably not all that possible, because one day you're going to end up with a Hot Toys figure collection if you're a 1/6 collector. Right.
It's just going to happen. Don't fight the inevitable. Just wait for that perfect character, the perfect representation of the character that you've always wanted in 1/6 scale. it's going to come along and you're going to get suckered in just like the rest of us.
But I will say, Justin, a lot of the third-party figures I have are some of my favorite figures. So, like, for example, the Pop Toy Scorpion, that's in my top 5. The Sephiroth and Cloud, I love those. I mean, I guess InArt's not third-party. It's not licensed in the U.S., but, some figures like that, dude. The Arthur Morgan would be in my top 10. Like, to me, it's about the character, but it's also about the quality of the figure. Then Nathan Drake could end up being in my top 10 if I really love him. So, dude, I couldn't imagine. Dude, what if LimToys? I know the other one is pretty good, but what if LimToys made Jin Sakai?
Ooh, I mean, VTS and LimToys, they've kind of been going back and forth. Like VTS made a Connor from Detroit Become Human, and LimToys announced theirs too. Right. So it's possible they have been making sort of the same thing. And they love the video game characters. Oh, I would be so in for a Jin Sakai.
I would be in for a Jin Sakai, yeah.
Multiple armors, maybe, even? Like Ghost armor and Sakai clan armor. Oh.
And a better base with that fox. They got to fix that fox. That thing is...
Or even the stupid little bird that's like... that little bird that leaves
that's
around.
The sound it makes.
That's the little sound it makes. So, I'd be in for that. So, it might not be possible to only collect other companies' figures, but they might surprise you.
Yeah.
They might actually end up being some of your favorites. Maybe.
Joel and Ellie, I know for sure, dude. I'll wake up anytime and do a preview for that one. For
anytime.
So
Will's gonna be up. He's ready to go.
Come on, LimToys. come through.
Come on, LimToys. Oh man, I'm really excited for Last of Us 1 figures because I don't have any Last of Us. I've only got Last of Us 2 from CC Toys, and you're the one who actually convinced me to get them. And they're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good.
I think they're about
Last
to
of
get
Us 1 is my favorite game.
Yeah, Last of Us 1, dude. It's
come on.
Always true.
Always. Q&A time, everyone. We're almost at the end of the stream. I've tried to keep it to an hour. We're gonna go a touch, just a little over, barely over. So it's Q&A time. If you have any questions, super chats or anything, this is where we'll be answering them. And we do have some super chats to go through. Drophead, the Batman reference, obviously. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Yes. When do we get a collection tour / update? Well, soon, I hope, but the challenge is the module cases, they go all the way to the ceiling. And trying to film, hold the camera up there, it's a bit of a challenge. So I'm working on how to do it and make it not, give you nausea, because it's, up there. I don't know how to film this room well. I've tried it a couple of different ways, and people either really liked it, or it was too short, or they didn't like the way I filmed it with the slider going left and right. And I'm trying to figure out how to get it done. Is the long and the short of it. I don't know. I don't have an exact date in mind because I've still got a lot of stuff that I need to review. So once I get through all the stuff that I need to review, I can sit down and figure out how to do it. So far, I don't know. Let me just turn it over to you. How would you like to see me film it? Do you want me to just walk around classic old school with the camera? Because there are so many figures in here. It'll take a long time. Like an hour or something. I don't know. And then going to the top shelf, I'd have to get a ladder out. So it might be a bit janky. So I don't know how to film it. Weigh in the chat. How do you want me to get that done? Do you want to see a tour of the statue room first? So that one's almost finished, that room. So once that's put together, then I can show you.
Yeah. The one thing I would say you could try, Justin, I've not had one before. I think you have one, is a gimbal. You could use a gimbal and take that around, and it should stabilize the footage to not give people nausea. So you could do that.
It is true. I do have a gimbal. I could do that. Yeah, definitely possible. The only other issue with module cases is the little doors.
Right.
So I could take them all off, I guess, but then I have to take them all off. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right,
can you imagine? Can you imagine? There'll be doors everywhere. Oh God.
Yeah.
The gimbal is definitely an option. It's just me trying to come up with things to say about this many figures is very.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's very challenging. Drophead says, I'd watch an hour of it. Okay, so Drophead's in for the long haul. Bob Dylan does say statue room tour first, because that one is way easier to film, because statues are a lot bigger. I have a lot less of them.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot easier to film. So I think I'll just do that. So we'll do statue room first, and then I'll try and figure out how to do the figures, because there's also stuff coming that's going to go in the display that I think is going to make the display look a little bit better. So I'll wait for that stuff to come in, and then we'll do a new collection tour. I know it's overdue. I know people tell me all the time, Justin, when the frick is a new collection tour? Soon. It's coming soon. All right. MMPR335, a channel member. Thank you so much for being a channel member. Hey, Justin, you've done reviews of some smaller figures like SHF and the ZD Toys, the 1/10 scale Iron Man. Do you have these displayed anywhere? If so, would you show them? Not all of them. I have some displayed, but not really displayed. They're on my desk. They're literally just sitting here around me, just random things that don't go in the display because I don't have room, unfortunately, for a 1/12 display. As small as they are, it's the entire display is taken up by a 1/6. Eventually, I do plan on displaying my SH Figure Arts and my Mayfex, but for now, I don't have space, unfortunately. Will, have you ever entertained smaller scale little guys, or has it always been 1/6 and above for you?
See, I started actually with Black Series and the Marvel Legends. That was my gateway, which I think a lot of people would probably have a similar experience. That's what I started out with. So I had those original display cases that I had, and I set them all up. I didn't use stands for those, obviously, and some of them fell from time to time. But you're like, not the end of the world, right? And then eventually I got one hot toy, the Kylo Ren Force Awakens, and then I was like, I'm done with these small things, and I sold them all. And I had some of them, but then when I moved back to Maryland from Delaware in like August, I sold my remaining ones. So like I had some Black Series like Revan and Nihilus and stuff like that, but I sold them because I was like, you know what, I'm out of the smaller scale at this point. I have some 1/8 statues like Kotobukiya, but that's about it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And Iron Studios 1/10 scale.
I didn't know that about you, Will. I didn't know you started off with Black Series, but here you are now. Look at that Prime 1 in the background.
I know, right? Couple Prime 1s, got some Prime 1 boys in the background and some Queen Studios back there. So
of course. How could you not? Mark 51's Collectibles says you could break it up by IP, so like individual tours. I did think about doing that, but I would rather put together one video for everyone so they don't have to go hunting around like, oh, I want to see Star Wars section, watch this video. It does work if you're only looking at one, but if you want to see the whole collection, then it doesn't have a flow to it, like a natural flow, because there'll be individual videos. So I kind of want to put together a whole thing. I did see another suggestion, actually, about... I've lost it now. Oh, Bob Dylan, just play elevator music over the tour the entire time, no narration. I prefer to do it like, if it's a tour, then I prefer to like do a tour. Like I'll show you around. Another thought that I had is maybe I can walk around the room and show you the displays like me, like someone filming me showing you the displays. And then as I'm talking, cut to B-roll of the displays. So it's like a proper tour. Like I'm taking you around the collection physically. You get to see me, showing you the displays and discussing how I put the shelves together, etc., and why I did the display that way, and then cutting to the B-roll as I'm talking. So that's something I've been maybe toying with, but that means I need someone to film me, and I need to not be goofy on camera, which I don't know if that's possible.
You could do it.
Maybe. So Bob Dylan, I do like the suggestion, just the music, but an hour of unlicensed royalty-free music might be that might be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, right. You could find it though. YouTube, you've seen it. YouTube creator option. It has the music section. I use that all the time. It's not the most high quality music, but it does the job.
It's true. They have a full library available, so you can. It's possible. It's possible. I didn't realize that YouTube Shorts, because I've been doing more shorts recently.
Yeah,
I didn't realize, and a lot of people didn't realize, because I've seen still 1-minute videos with proper licensed music. You can only have 15 seconds of licensed music. So if you have a 1-minute long short and you put the music on and the track says 1 minute long, it only plays 15 seconds. I really don't like that. So my shorts with music, I've been making 15 seconds because I don't want it to just be awkward silence for the last 45 seconds of the video. That would be weird,
It's not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, because I've used like copywritten music before, and they'll let you use it, but then they just take the monetization. So anything, you're just like, well, okay, that's fine. But as long as it's a good short, that's all that matters. But
that is true. That is true. Yeah. 16 Cave says just an MTV crib style. Kind of like that style. Shiny says I'm up for a guided tour. Okay, we got some votes.
I think guided tour would be cool. Justin, I actually kind of like the idea of individual IP videos. Like Star Wars collection, Marvel collection video. I kind of like that. I think that would be cool. But I don't know. We'll see what the people think. People might disagree.
Let me know in the chat. Do you like the idea of separate videos or no?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because then that way you could guide them then. Because you could do a guided tour and be like, okay, here's my DC collection. Here's my Marvel collection. And each video might be like,
it wouldn't
maybe
be an hour long.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not a bad idea. Maybe I can do both, guided and shorter. So it's like, here's my collection of the things. And then, you know, we can go from there. Carlos says, my 4-year-old nephew watches your unboxings. I don't know if that's like an insult or like a compliment.
No, it's a compliment. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah, he was telling me his I think his name is Ezra from what I remember. But yeah, he loves watching your reviews.
I agree with this, Carlos. The one segment that I really don't like doing is accessories. And when I watch videos, I don't like watching the accessories either because it's freaking boring. We want to see the figure, but some people really love accessories. So I've been toying with the idea of moving that segment entirely, not removing, just moving. So instead of it being at the start, because the idea was put the stuff at the start that you really don't care about, and then we'll build up to the figure because that's the most exciting thing. But screw that. We want to get to the most exciting thing first. So what I'm thinking about doing is picking up that accessory segment and moving it towards the later end of the video. So we get earlier on into the exciting stuff, and then the accessories come later. So, I mean, I could do that. I could just do it once or twice, give it a go. Let me know if that's something that y'all would like to see. Because that would be changing the whole formula, the formula that I've been using since day one, like the very beginning. And it might upset some people because they're like, I really care about accessories. I want to get them out the way, and then we can look at the figures. So there are arguments for both sides. Bob Dylan says it's all about the accessories. So,
yeah,
you know.
Well, you got to appeal to the 4-year-old crowd. So, you know, it's important. It's an important.
I'm trying to appeal to everyone. I always do, but sometimes I struggle. CT5597 says separate videos. Okay, by IP. CMB Rock says separate videos. Darth Batman says I like the idea. Shiny says Star Race Tour.
Star Race Tour. That
Tully says I don't have many Star Race, so it wouldn't be very long. It'd be like 2-minute video. So it could be a short, if you will. Could be a little short Star Race Tour. Tully says guided tour is the way. So we're getting some votes for both guided tour and splitting it out. Darkwing says get rid of the accessory segment entirely.
Get rid of it.
I don't think we're going to do that because people do want to see the accessories. Charlie says, I love your reviews. Don't change. We're all about change, Tully, but sorry, Charlie. But I don't think I want to delete them. So we're going to keep them in, but change in a good way, if you know what I mean. So I always modify small things here and there. Like people have said, Justin, don't change, how many poses you do or whatever. But if I can do something different that is a positive, that doesn't take away from what I already have, I'm going to do it. I don't want to be sitting here doing the same thing forever. It's boring. I want to express myself creatively and do something different. So mixing up the formula could definitely work. A couple of people, though, Clinton says don't. He says keep the formula. Master Imwe says, again, keep the formula. But then again, Levi says put the accessory segment at the end. Damn, this is a hard one. I'll do a poll. How about that?
There you go.
Do a poll. Then we'll see what y'all can vote. Last time I did a poll, it was quite funny. I did a poll saying, do you want to see a top 10 or do you want to see all 67 figures? And I guess people thought that if they commented, like, that would add to their vote. They were like, oh, nah, I want to see the 67 figures, even though that was losing.
Yeah.
And I would have to reply like, just vote. Just commenting is not gonna change it. So just vote. So we will do it. We'll do a poll. We're almost done. We're gonna go 2 minutes longer. So any burning questions, now is the time. Otherwise, Will and I, maybe if you want to have another guest next week.
Yeah.
We're already struggling to stick to time, though, is the challenge. So if we bring on more guests, then it might get even longer. So I don't know if we're going to bring on another guest yet. I want to really lock down the formula so we got a good pace and we keep to time. And then we can start bringing on more people. Because I want to get, other YouTubers on here as well. So Will and I can chat to them because it's always good to meet new people. And also Lael, I know he wants to come on. So we will definitely make that happen. But I don't know if it's going to be the next stream or in future streams because we're going to get the timing right.
Yeah. We're doing pretty good. I mean, we're about a little, like 10 minutes over, but we're doing pretty good. We kept our time pretty effectively. So
I think so.
We did a good job.
So Will,
what's up?
I'm going to ask you this. Your Mando review is live.
Yes.
You're getting a replacement.
Yes, I am.
Anything else coming up on the channel that we should be aware of for this week, next week, onwards?
Dude, so I have a live stream tomorrow at 5:30
Okay.
p.m. Eastern, which is Lights Camera Collect. I call it Lights Camera Kiko Collect at this point because Kiko is on the channel every Friday now for this live stream. So that's going to be fun. And I'm going to visit Sir Kiko Collect. So guys, Kiko Collects, great YouTuber. I know, Justin, you think your friend said, he's better than you.
He did say that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. He's a great dude. I'm going to visit him in Tennessee next month in March. So
nice.
Really excited about that. I'm going to film some stuff for that. We'll film some vlog type content. Yeah, there'll be other videos coming up on the channel every Sunday. Justin, I got to get you back on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
I'll come on.
Yeah, and then would love to have you. And then we would do, other reviews here and there. When Shang-Chi and Wenwu drop, I will be reviewing them. So
I'm so excited for them, Will.
Dude, any day now. Any day.
Surely. Surely.
Any day, bro. But yeah, man, that's pretty much just it. There'll be some other things. I like doing PowerPoint presentations every now and then.
I know you love a PowerPoint. Yeah. We'll do a PowerPoint on here one of these days.
See, there
Will can be in charge of one of the main topics, and he can lead us through. I think that'd be good.
PowerPoint king. Yeah.
PowerPoint style. Gotta get that done. Bob Dylan with a $2 says, "Will the podcast come back?" I don't know. Figures and Flicks. We used to do Figures and Flicks. Yeah. People liked Figures and Flicks. Some people didn't, because when I said I didn't like a movie, they would get personal.
Yeah, but that's gonna happen with anything.
It's gonna happen with anything. It was really awkward. Just before we go, a little bit of an awkwardness. I went to the premiere of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Marvel invited Steph and I, and usually you can tell if they're confident in the movie, if it's a big affair. Spider-Man, huge photo wall. They had cosplayers there, a massive line out the door of people. They got there early to get their seats because for press/media screenings, there's no assigned seating. You've got to get in, otherwise you're stuffed and you don't get to get a good seat. With Ant-Man, you walked in, nothing. No photo wall, no press, just empty lobby. Walked up, there were maybe 5-10 people waiting there. More people obviously came. The cinema was full at the end, but we got in, and sometimes they do a speech, like for Prey, sorry. They had a speech. Marvel Australia, Disney Australia came out and did a speech. Same thing with Spider-Man, etc. Sony did a speech. Ant-Man started rolling. No, nothing, just started rolling. But there was a screen that had a review embargo. Whenever there's a review embargo, that's where I get a little bit worried. If they were confident, they would just let the reviews fly, because I saw it on Sunday for y'all. So I saw it really early. No. I know why there was a review embargo
right now, Justin.
I know that's why. I know that review embargo was there for a reason.
Yep.
I did not like Ant-Man and the Wasp. And Steph turned to me. The credits just rolled. Lights came on. She turned to me. She's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Not here," because you're surrounded by
review embargo.
There's a review embargo, but also you're surrounded by like other media and press and Disney executives and Marvel executives. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, right. We'll talk about it on a live stream.
We'll talk about it in the car. Yeah, I did not like it at all. So I was really hoping, I said to Will that, this is going to be the kickstart that we need for the MCU. Get people excited about the MCU again. I think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, not with this movie. Maybe for another movie, but I thought I was talking about how divisive my opinions were on the podcast. I'll give you one more divisive opinion right now. I did not like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I don't think it is. I mean, the critics score 48, Justin. So, I mean,
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people are like, the critic. It goes one of two ways. The critic scores low, and they're like, see, it's terrible. Or the critic scores low, and they're like, wait till the audience score comes out. Right. It's going to be great. Comic books are the best. I love my comic books too, but this movie, I don't have anything nice to say about this movie.
Really? Not even Kang?
No, actually, that's a lie. Kang was great.
Okay,
Kang was really good. Jonathan Majors kills it as Kang. So I retract that statement. I have one nice thing to say about the movie, and it was Kang. But all of that charm of the previous Ant-Man movies, like, it's all gone. You don't spend much time with Ant-Man himself. Like, there's so many other things going on, like wacky shit, like the lamppost head guy. Like so weird. It's pure nonsense. A lot of people might be into that, though. Maybe I shouldn't have said any of that, because now people can be mad at me. Yeah, I did not like Ant-Man. No spoilers, though. So there you go. Ant Collectibles says, "I love the movie. I'm so glad you love the movie, Ant. My admin in 6 Scale Network, Itu, his name is, he loved it too. He had a real fun time with it. I did not personally. Anyway, I don't mean to end on such a somber note, so I'll end on on an exciting note. I'm hoping that we get Shang-Chi and Wenwu this week. That will be really, really exciting because I've been waiting for those boys, for a while.
Me too. I cannot wait for those, Justin. I got to get those ASAP, bro. Those are the two figures I'm probably most excited for right now from Hot Toys. Like I cannot wait, dude. Cannot wait.
I'm really excited. I'm hoping that it's this week. Otherwise, it'll be next week. Anyway, we'll talk about it when it happens. But we will be back for another stream. Thank you so much, everyone who joined us. Head over to Brother Cousins. I know he's streaming now. I'm so sorry for going over time, Brother Cousins. But next week, we will try and button it down. Anyway, that's about it for this live stream. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.